It's always nice to have a break, but now it's time to get back to racing again. Welcome along to Budapest for round 11 of 24 for the Breakout Racing League Realistic Performance Championship and the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hungary, then, is one of the oldest countries in Europe, founded around 1000 AD with the crowning of St. Stephen and the recognition from the Pope. Well, the name Hungary is an exonym derived from the medieval Latin Hungaria, meaning the land of the Huns, who were the vast majority of Hungarian land during those times. Nowadays, Hungary is synonymous with numerous things, such as Olympic gold medalists, which they have a surplus amount, a water polo, a national sport, and tonight we add Formula One to that list. Speaking of Formula One, let's talk about the circuit located in Budapest, the capital of Hungary. The Hungaroring was opened in 1986 and has been hosting racing, especially in Formula One, ever since. There are 14 corners, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, which makes up the 4.381 kilometer, 2.722 mile circuit with an average lap speed of 200 kph, or 124 miles per hour. That is due to the tight and twisty nature of the circuit, where overtaking is notoriously difficult. Thus, in its inherited name, Monaco without the barriers. Overtaking may be aided by the 2 DRS straights on the run into turn 1 and this corner on the run into turn 2 on board with KP21, but it's not available until lap 3. One prominent indicator of a driver's race will be their strategy, as tire wear isn't so much the tire overheating. Pirelli have brought the C4, C3, and the C2 tires, with the C4 being the red-wooled softs, the C3 being the old mediums, and the C2 being the white-wooled hards, plus the intermediates and full wets, if the drivers need it. Right now in qualifying 1, it looks like the drivers will not. Well, that may make the ones who make the most of their strategy and minimize the overheating of their tires very well may be on success for tonight, regardless of their car's pace. Well, let's go quick look at the championship then. We're nearing halfway, around 11 or 24. Actually, next round will be the halfway mark. The drivers need to get a move on. Well, so one man who's gotten a move on. Monaco has actually taken the championship lead over unsighted Port. The Red Bull ahead the McLaren by 20 points. The gap, Bailey has moved himself up to third in the championship, ahead of Mumu in the Ferrari. He has 98 points to his name, Mumu 96. 3 points back in fifth. The other Red Bull, Zach the Beast, he's 3 points off, 93 points to his name. He has 11 points clear of the Deer Hunter machine in sixth. The Mercedes, 82 points to his name, but he has a 19-point buffer to Taylor Clan. He jumps Cookie in the Mercedes now, newly signed for the Mercedes AMG Petronas Formula One team. He's now to 8th. Here is Jared. The Alpines are now 9th and 10th, with Jared ahead of his teammate Ferrari Nut. 45 points to Ferrari Nut's 24. Luciano to 11th. Ron Swanson goes down a position to 12th. Let's go look at the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull, they are once again the leaders and leading the pack. 259 points to their name. 32 point clear of McLaren. 227 for them. Mercedes sits third, 162 ahead of AlphaTauri in fourth by about 30 points. Alpine, they jump Ferrari by one singular point. Look at the battle for fifth, 69 to 68 respectively. Aston Martin in P7, 52 points to their name, 23 points clear of Alfa Romeo, and eighth with 29, and 17 points clear of Haas in ninth, which a little bit of a 4-point buffer to Williams in 10th. Look out for that battle for ninth in the Constructors' Championship as we start going into the midway points of the season. Now I'm Hank Hatcher, joined alongside by Bois, and now Bois, we just came off a break, so good to have you and many of the racing back for that matter. It's good to have all of us back. But how do you think this break really affects some of these drivers as we have KP21 going to the end of his lap in a few seconds' time?
Well, we'll see if any drivers have some rust and see who practiced over the Thanksgiving break. I don't know about you, but I certainly had my fill. KP21 is the first one to complete a lap. I believe Ferrari will be next. Ferrari Nut, that is. Interesting note. I got a message. Apparently, it's going to be rain at the start of the race, so that's going to be interesting to see what teams do. I thought maybe no one would use the medium or soft compound in Q2, but if rain at the start, then I think that's going to change it up a bit.
Well, if it rains at the start, the tire selection in qualifying 2 into qualifying 3 doesn't necessarily matter.
Nope.
Well, they have to make sure that they start on the intermediates or full wets come race time. But now it's qualifying 1. We'll see who of the top 20 drivers can get in the top 15 and get into qualifying 3. So far, 3 laps have been up. 15.4, that's the exact lap right now that everyone has to chase after Zach DeBeast set the provisional pole about 1. Actually, let's go look at the thing itself. There you go. 1.7 is clear of Ferrari Nut in second, KP21 in third at the moment. We have around the final corner, turn 14, the McLaren of Scartrix, once again submarine for undecided Port. But he invalidated his lap. Behind him is going to be an AlphaTauri. I believe that is going to be Crispy on the mediums. It is Crispy on the mediums.
And I believe one of the Aston Martins let the Ferrari through. Watching DXD. DXD had a little moment leaving pit road. I don't know if that was caused by car around him, and he spins and damages his front wing on the final corner. So, fortunately for him, he's near pit road. He can just hop over. Well, no, he's not. He's going to have to complete the lap as Zach is retired.
Believes his time is safe, which I don't necessarily disagree with. 15.4, it's a good lap.
It is a good lap. You know, you mentioned, Monaco in the woods, and if you hark back to Monaco, the team to beat at Monaco was Alpine, and one does wonder if they can replicate that pace here in Hungary.
Oh, no! Sorry to cut you off. Cookies just crashed. Exit of turn 14. He was about to start a flying lap again on the mediums. He invalidated his prior one. And now he has no front wing.
Well, him and DXD are in the same boat. DXD's just completing Sector 1, going to Sector 2. As Scartrix goes on the board, I believe, in the McLaren. He had a good debut 2 weeks ago.
P2 up for the McLaren team, who, once again, they're still in a fight for P1 in the championship, even though they, it's not what exactly they thought they would have been at the beginning of the season. They are 32 points back of Red Bull. A little bit of a cluster going through the final couple of corners. You see the Haas flying lap. Looks like it's going to be tweaking, and he goes through turn 13 right now. He has a little bit of... Actually, I think he's okay with the Ferrari ahead of him, Mumu. And they had a little bit of traffic going through 11.
Yeah, it looks like they have a Ferrari, and then... I guess that's an Alpine there. Leaking on the board with the 18.3. Ron with a 17.1. I'm interested to see, this isn't an engine-dependent track, so I believe the times will be closer. And with it being a wet start, it's going to make it down to, really who's more driver-dependent more than car-dependent in terms of performance.
We'll see how that works out. Obviously, the top 15 moves on to qualifying 2. And the bottom 5 will have to get eliminated, and we'll take no further part in qualifying. Right now, the danger zone goes from Monaco on back from Raptor, Taylor, Crispy, and Axe. Axe is on a out lap now. Crispy around the final corner, turn 14. On the mediums, up to P6, a 17.8. Not too far off of his teammate on the medium, about 1.5 seconds or so. But right now, like you said, that wet start's going to be the prime candidate, because a lot of these guys we saw in the past that you could have an extremely great qualifying performance in the dry. But how would that really affect your wet race and wet setup, and how it really handles in the wet as well? And like you also said, the cars, they may have a little bit of an impact on finishing order, especially in the dry weather. Well, what happens if it's raining? That's going to be the great equalizer, as it says. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. So we see, and maybe we have a little bit of chaos going into turn 1.
It's going to create some more opportunities.
See who's opportunistic. Phantom goes up to P8 and 18.1. Gets ahead of I Am Tweaking and Etrona in the battle for the top 10 at the moment. DXD Shigo is still the last of the times who've set one. But remember, that was with a no front wing lap, I believe, after a little bit of a spin on the exit of turn 13. Deer Hunter is in an out lap, and Monaco is on one as well. He's actually going through the first sector. Let's go take a look at the championship leader, newly crowned from a week ago at Silverstone. Actually, sorry, 2 weeks ago, before the break. It was going to happen.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago feels like a month ago, honestly.
I agree with that.
And so far, Crispy's the only one that has set a time on the medium. Everyone else is on softs. And watching Axe. Axe, he had a very strong race at Monaco. Actually, a strong qualifying session and a race session at Monaco. And the end of the race didn't pan out, but one does wonder if he can replicate a little bit of that here today. Becomes a complete...
It's going to be a little bit difficult, but he could do it.
P7, that's...
P7, wow.
That's a really good lap.
It is. That's about 3/10 clear of Phantom. In 9th, he pulls up to P7 ahead of Crispy in the Alpha Tauri. The championship leader, the Red Bull of Monaco, going around the final corner, turn 14. That long sweeping right. Let's see if he can go provisional pole. He doesn't. P3, though, at 15.7. So that puts... Actually, Mumu's up to second. We missed that. And him, Bailey, and Zach the Beast all retired in the pit lane. Looks like those may be safe for the time being, and I don't disagree with that. Taylor's going to be on a flying lap. Goes up into turn 4 in the McLaren. We'll see if he can do purple sector 1.
So far we have...
This may be the part of the track it's going to be difficult for McLaren, though.
Yeah, well, you say that, though. I mean, Great Britain was a nice surprise. You know, they were able to bring the fight to Red Bull, and they didn't win the race, but it was nice to see someone fight Red Bull for a change after about 4 races there, where Red Bull just kind of just in their own race. As we have Aston Martin off, I believe that is Luciano, yes. Broken front wing, so fortunately 7 minutes left, but you'll have to come back to the pits and address that issue.
Taylor Clan goes up to P5 ahead of his teammate Scartrix, and that's now 2 McLarens in the top 6.
Oh, yeah.
And you see,
we have a Mercedes that's off.
looks like it may have been Boss Cookie.
I think it was either Boss or it was Deer. I can't. Trying to get to it. I want to say it was...
So right now, Boss Cookie's on the mediums, so he's gone out again. He tried this earlier and had a little bit of a spin in the exit of turn 14. If you do recall, lost his front wing, had to go into the pits, and he's now going for that once more. Looks like he's on a flyer, so it may have been actually him.
I want to say... It's either him or Deer. Deer's about to finish. He was coming to pit road, I think, so I think it was Deer that had the issue, and... Both Mercedes don't have a time. Oh, no. Deer does have a time on the board. Cookie not yet.
You're talking about bringing the fight to Red Bull. Deer Hunter's not too far off of Minico's lap in qualifying 1, but let's see if everyone has turned up the engine mode so they have more pace to find in qualifying 2 and 3. We'll have to figure that one out as it comes to fruition. 6 minutes left to go in qualifying 1. The bottom 5 looking at Tronhut, KP21, Boss Cookie, Luciano, and DRC Jared, who just actually went out the pit lane. Right behind Boss Cookie and the Mercedes. Let's see how these laps go through. Right now the cut line is going to be an 18.34 tenths clear of Ed Tronha. DXD Ishigo goes up, by the way, to P14 ahead of his teammate Ed Tronha, and I am tweaking by about roughly 88 milliseconds.
Yeah, right now I think if you've run a time in 16 to I think a low 17, I think you're pretty safe. But I think if you're anything above that, I would, be at the ready with 5 minutes, a little over 5 remaining.
We'll see how, look at the lap from Crispy, by the way, 17.8. He's on an out lap. He may go out on the softs again if he needs to. Where would that put Cookie? He's done already a numerous amount of laps on this on these tires, 2 to be exact. So how much grip is still in these mediums? Let's see as he goes through turn 13 and 14, the final couple of corners in the Hungaroring ring. Let's see what he can do right now. And the bottom 5, I think he should realistically get out of the bottom 5.
Yeah, he should, as looks like we have a AlphaTauri or Alfa Romeo stopped. It makes sense for Crispy to be out there. He set his first attempt on mediums, so...
It's no front wing again from DXD. That's what the Alfa Romeo stopping was.
Well, being the fact that he is on the bubble, he does have time to change that again, but he's only really going to have 1 more attempt left in the bag.
See, both Haas pitting in. Axe ahead of his teammate I am tweaking. Let's go now look to Jared as he goes up into the middle sector, turn 4. This tricky left-hander is going to be easy for, I guess, validation, especially come the qualifying 3 of the session where everyone's trying to push the limits. But especially in the race as well, you can pick up a warning, and 3 gets you a penalty, and, well, you don't want one of those.
Yeah, a little bit queue here. 5 cars. Especially in this part of Sector 2 that begins in Sector 3, it's very, very tight and very narrow. So it's very, very important for you to know who is what and who is coming. The last thing you want is a 5-grid slot penalty at a track like this where it's hard to overtake.
Oh, Jared almost losing the car, exit at 13. He needs to get out of the bottom 5. Right now he is in 20th. He's the last of the, I guess, all runners. Right now he's yet to set a time. He now goes up to P8, a 16.4. Does not behind him, Cookie. Looks like he doesn't improve on his time. Behind him, Luciano is going to start a flying lap. But that is going to be, how close is that? Is that going to affect the Aston Martin through his lap?
Let's see what...
Third gear's pretty strong.
Well, right now, Boss Cookie did that lap considering 3-lap mediums. Obviously, there's more pace in that Mercedes that we know, especially on the soft compound. And I thought, did Crispy invalidate his first lap?
I believe so. He's actually been
retired.
dropped out. He's actually crashed out.
Interesting.
Crispy's out of qualifying. Crashed out of the exit of turn 2. Now that puts the cutoff line for 14th, at least, as an 18.1. But if you beat that 17.8, you will beat Crispy. One person beats Crispy, he'll get knocked out of the bottom 5, or knocked into the bottom 5. Let's see how that plays out. We still have Etoronha, I Am Tweaky, DXC Ishigo, KP21 on a flying lap. Luciano in the Aston Martin, he may come around to beat that lap. We'll have to see. It's going to be crucial if he does beat that lap. Can we see an Alpha Tauri out of qualifying 1? Luciano, he does, 10th. Puts Phantom, his teammate, in the bottom 5, but now, one more move, Crispy's out in the bottom 5.
And looking at the cars that are at the bottom 5 that could potentially move up, one would Phantom, comparing to see where his teammate is at. Axe is going to be on the bubble as well.
The next one to complete or start a flying lap will be DXD Ishigo. Starting a flying lap in a couple seconds' time, goes through turn 12 and 13 in a few moments' time. It's going to be I Am Tweaking, and DXD Ishigo just invalidated. He may have enough time to get back. It's going to be close. His teammate Etoronha is going to be behind him, though. He looks like he's actually kind of backed off a bit. Yes, he has.
Yeah, Tweaking starting a lap now, then behind Tweaking, I believe that is... that might be KP21 finishing a lap.
I think you're right with that.
Or
Tweaking's
no,
that's
that's
starting his flying lap.
That was Supply that finished his lap, I believe, or just starting his lap.
KP21's crashed out of the qualifying session. He's out of qualifying at turn 11. That's his day done.
Watching
He's
Axe.
going to start his flying lap again. Here's Etoronha. Out of turn 14, the Alfa Romeo down to 19th. 18.4, does he improve? No, he does not. He still has enough time for one more flying run. Behind him, that's going to be Phantom. It's like he's going slowly. Looks like he's not going to...
He will.
He is going to complete the time. We'll have to figure that out in a second.
Well, he will have a chance to do another lap, as now all times will count with the session ending. So Tweaking will be the first one to finish the session. Then it will be Supply, and then Axe. Axe has not improved his time.
This Tweaking, he does! Crispy's out of qualifying! An Alpha Tauri out of qualifying 1. Tweaking goes up to 14th. The next one across the line will be DXD Ishigo in the Alfa Romeo. Axe, can he improve his time? He's on the cutoff line, a 17.8, about 19 milliseconds. No, he pits. He's at risk.
He avoided it. So it's going to come down to these two AlphaTauris and Phantom.
Ishigo, he got through. Remember, a week ago, both Alfa Romeos got into qualifying 2. They almost got into qualifying 3. Actually, I said 2 weeks ago again. I've done it again. It doesn't matter. DXD Ishigo around turn 14. He does get into Q2. Axe is out of qualifying 1. Crispy's out of qualifying 1. Phantom runs a bit wide. Etoronha pits. He's out of qualifying 1. It's all down to the Aston Martin. Can he improve?
And...
he needs a 17.8. No, he does not. He doesn't improve. And a huge crash, by the way. But that will conclude it from qualifying 1. Axe F1 out of qualifying and out-qualified by his teammate for the first time in a couple of rounds' time. Crispy, the Alpha Tauri, shock exit in qualifying 1. Crash on the exit of turn 2. He's out and will start 17th. Phantom will start 18th. Etoronha and KP21 will join him out of qualifying 1. We have 5 down. 15 more slots to go.
Well, a lot of work to be done for AlphaTauri, who is, if you remember the championship battle, and when it comes to Hungary, they sit kind of P4 in the championship. Like to maintain that. They got a nice gap over Alpine, but if you look at where Jared is, Supply, or I'm sorry, Ferrari. Hey, how about Supply in the Williams? Just notice we have a Williams in the top 15.
well, remember, he has subbed in for Mercedes a couple of times. And, well, now he's in a full-time seat for the Williams team. And he's into qualifying 2, I believe, for one of the first times this season for Williams. I believe he did it a couple of times. I'm sorry, not him, but the Williams team. I believe Kieran Evans got through in a couple of rounds ago.
Luciano spins. I don't know. I was confused. I guess there's a glitch. I saw him leave pit row when the session was over, so that I think this is. Yeah, okay. Trying to understand what's going on.
All right, qualifying 1 is over, and the session is done. 2 more to go to set the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. A wet start. How is it going to play out? Zach the Beast of Red Bull ahead. Amumu actually splitting the 2 Red Bulls. Minico in 3rd. Deer Hunter, Taylor Clan, Scartrix, McLaren 5-6. Bailey in 7th. DRC Jared 8th. Boscookie 9th. Luciano rounding out the top 10. Ron Ferrari Nut, Spy Raptor. DXC Ishigo and Tweaking all advance into the round. I guess the second round of qualifying 2. But XF1, Crispy, Phantom, Etronha, and KP21 all out of qualifying 1. A shock exit from the AlphaTauri.
Sorry, I left my stove on.
What you cooking?
I did cook.
Yes, I am looking at the chat, DXD. Hello.
What's going on in the
Make you
chat?
happy now. Carbon messaged me. It says DXD says look at the chat. He wants to be heard. So I said hello. Hello to everyone in the chat.
Yeah,
That
hello.
is, glad you're tuning in for the Hungarian Grand Prix Round 11 of the Breakout Racing League Realistic Championship. And yes, stoves are pretty hot. I believe that is our job. One session down. 2 more to go. Who gets into the top 10? Put that in the chat below if you want to have a little bit of prediction, have a little bit of fun. I see a Red Bull going out.
Yeah, that is a Red Bull going out. Will we get surprised and see someone crash out? We saw 2 of them.
Oh, what isn't a surprise? I see Bailey out. So even with Crispy out of the session, it's still an AlphaTauri on track first.
Yeah. I could just tell by the icon. Like, yeah, I know who that is. And looks like the other McLaren is leaving. That would be Taylor. So everyone else just waiting or tweaking. Nice to see tweaking the Q2.
It's unfortunate, woman. Anyways, back to the race itself. Yes, it is a very good sight to see tweaking up into qualifying 2. The Haas usually is XF1, so XF1 has been out qualified for his teammate for the last time in a couple, or actually for the first time in the last couple of races. I actually have those head-to-heads on me. The last time, actually the qualifying head-to-head, it's actually the first time tweaking is out qualified Axe.
I was about to say.
Before this race, it was 5-0 in favor of XF1. Now it's 5-1. So, now on that matter, once again, it's going to be a wet start. So this tires, usually it does matter what tire you go through into qualifying 3, but it may not tonight. So, could we see a lot more people on the soft compounded tire that has a little bit of an issue with the tire temperatures? As you see, Bailey loops it around the exit of turn 14. Like I said, tire temperature is the issue. That proved my statement.
And you're trying to mash it right there to get the most you can off acceleration there. Fortunately, he just got it all wrong, and this will be pretty much a wasted lap for Bailey.
Which means the first driver to actually set a flying lap, barring any invalidation, will be the sister car the Red Bull of Zach the Beast. He topped qualifying 1 with a 15.4. Can he do it in qualifying 2? He had a little bit of a struggle going in to the race, especially through today. He said he definitely didn't feel on the pace. Well, through qualifying 1, if that's any indication,
Bailey's
he may be
out
on the pace. Oh no, that's both AlphaTauris. He will now start, unless something else happens, he will start 15th. His teammate will start 17th. That's probably going to be the lowest average finish. Oh no, big crash. Zach the Beast is out of qualifying. Turn 10. I'm sorry, turn 11.
Same place where, who spun off there in Q1?
KP21.
21, that's right.
So that corner has now claimed a second victim, and it's all the qualifying 2, meaning the next driver and the first driver to set a time will be Scartrix around turn 14. What will the times everyone be chasing? It's going to be McLaren. What time will it be? It's going to be a 17.0 to top the timesheets of qualifying 2 so far. We've lost 2 drivers already, and it's not even been 5 minutes.
Here comes his teammate Taylor to complete his lap. Actually, no, Taylor comes into the pits, so interesting decision there. What a surprise. I would say 2 cars that you would probably say would be shoe-ins for the top 10 for Q3 won't advance, so that does open the door. You know, we think both Mercedes should have the pace, Monaco should have the pace. I would go as far as Alpine should have the pace, McLaren, but it does open the door for now a potential surprise.
Could we see a Williams or an Alfa Romeo, maybe even the Haas of tweaking in qualifying 3? Mumu, he goes provisional pole, 16.5 on the mediums. His teammate, Ron Swanson, goes around the final corner, 17.5 on the medium tire as well. Boss Cookie, he's going to start another flying lap. Luciano's going to start a flying lap. He's in the middle sector. Deer Hunter, he goes around the final corner, 15.6. He now sets provisional pole. Behind him is going to be the Williams. I believe that is going to be Supply Raptor. Yes, it is. He's going to start his flying lap and see what he can do on his lap. Is that Scartrix going around again, or is that in the pits? Looks like he is going around.
He is going around again. One thing that you don't have to worry about is these tires, like you mentioned, going into the race. So you could, theoretically, you don't have to worry about the wear.
To see Luciano, 17.8. Let's go look at the gap from them to the leader. Look how close it is between 4th and 5th. 4/10 of a second. Actually, it's pretty the same distance between Scartrix and Ron Swanson. Battle for 3rd and 4th in qualifying. Looks like the Mercedes, I believe Aboski is going through turn 13. And now into 14. What can he do? His teammate is provisional pole, 15.6. Can the Mercedes beat his teammate? He does by a 1/10 and a half. And Luciano's out of qualifying. Turn 3. That's now the 3rd driver we've lost from qualifying.
Interesting to see how that one played out. Looks like we have one Ferrari is pitting. Looks like actually both Ferraris are coming into the pits after they're done. Mumu and Ron on their first attempt on mediums. And Taylor's about to start his first lap. And behind him, I believe that is, who will that be? I believe that is Supply finishing a lap on mediums. And so there's
looks like he may have backed off. I'm not sure if that's entirely correct. Yes, I was correct. Looks pretty slow. But, yeah, actually with now Luciano crashing out as well, this could definitely put an opportunity in for a shock qualifying probably of the season. We could have an Alfa Romeo, we could have a Williams or a Haas into qualifying 3. They just got to beat a 17.8 to be safe and definitely fight off at least 2 more drivers, as Zach the Beast, Bailey, and Luciano all have retired from the session. Luciano did a 17.8 because he set a lap, so that means he is going to be at the cut line. He's going to be P10. Right now he's P9.
That should be a great surprise. I mean, we saw Axe at Monaco get to Q3, but we've not seen, you know, for sure the Williams haven't. They just haven't had the pace, but this weekend with this track, it has helped them. And then Alfa Romeo as well. We've seen them in Q2, but
we've seen this track has been quite favorable to the Williams outfit, especially in if you look at real life racing with George Russell. So you could possibly see the Williams of Supply and Raptor grabbing himself into the top 10. Right now he is P7 and 18.5. He's hit that lap, so he needs to find about another 0.8 of a second or so, roughly, if he wants to secure that in.
Scartrix completed his lap a little bit ago. It was about 0.3 off of his time, as Deere now sets provisional pole for 15.3, as Taylor's going to come by and finish his lap. He hasn't been validated yet through the final 2 corners and down the line. P4.
There's Minico, though. Can he go provisional pole? Yes, he can. 0.2. I was going to say Deer Hunter and Boss Cookie were both leapfrogging each other by about 1/10 or so. That's what happened from Boss Cookie to Deer Hunter, and then Deer Hunter to Boss Cookie, and now Minico comes in and says, yeah, that's cute. Watch this. 0.2 faster.
One thing that
15-1.
One thing that Monaco doesn't have to worry about, I mean, we've had the potential of rain, we know that, but this is also going to be a race kind of decided by strategy, and with Monaco likely going to start up front, barring anything else that happens, and Zach not, that really makes his strategy easier because he doesn't have to worry about pitting and, worry about when to pit or not compared to his teammate.
That is true. And, well, the last time that Zach the Beast had to make his way through the field, remember that was Canada, a couple of rounds ago, he finished up on the podium with Minico for a 1-2 for Red Bull, so we could possibly see it again, but remember, Hungary is a different animal compared to Gilles Villeneuve. It's a lot more difficult to overtake. We could see a ton of strategies, the undercut, the overcut, all kind of cuts all around the circuit here in the Hungaroring in Budapest, but it's going to be difficult to overtake. So it's going to be all about track position, especially if it's a wet start. That's going to be the biggest thing, is who can capitalize the most off of that wet start.
Right now we've had 3 not set a time, and we're approaching 5 minutes and 40 seconds left. I'm trying to see who's out there on track now. Ron is. I think he had a moment off of turn 2. I'm hearing the crowd, ooh, and I have no clue of why.
He's now on a flying lap. Right now he's P7 and about 0.9 off of his teammate up in P4. Mumu
He's
now been overtaken by Bailey in the championship right now. As it would stand, Mumu would get him back.
So far, Ron is 0.4 faster on this attempt. His first attempt was on mediums. And so far it's looking good. Complete sector 2, and he is now 1 second full faster. So this will likely, if he keeps this together, Ron will jump both McLarens. Coming to finish the final 2 corners.
He actually jump his teammate.
It's going to be close.
He does. 0.4.
Of course, Mumu's time is still there from when he did his medium stint, so... And he's got subs strapped up. Taylor's retired. We only had 2 retires. Monaco for sure is safe with the 15-1. Taylor, with the amount of people that have retired, I would say he's safe. So is Boss Cookie is safe.
Well, the Alpine of Ferrari Nut's going to go around and start his flying lap. DXC Ishigo and DRC Jared both are on flying laps as well. Ron Swanson should, in theory, be on an in lap, and everyone else is in the pit lane. We could have a kind of a shocker of a qualifying here, especially in qualifying 2. If we have, right now, as it stands, Supply Rapture and I Am Tweaking both in qualifying 3. But Jared and his teammate Ferrari Nut have still yet to set a time, along with DXC Ishigo in the Alfa Romeo. Don't count him out. Could we possibly see a shot qualifying from, one of these guys? We'll have to find out in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds time. Jared is going to start his flying lap, the Monaco Grand Prix winner. Let's see how he goes on and fares at the track of Monaco without the barriers. Like you said earlier, this could very well be the guy and the team to watch, especially because they were pretty dominant at the streets of Monte Carlo.
They were pretty much in a world of their own, but the only one that was within touching distance of them was Bailey. But then again, that was a race where you had Mumu start, I believe, P6 because he had the 5 grid place penalty. So
Let's see, Ferrari Nut, he got a podium at Monaco. How does he fare at Hungary? P7 splits the two McLarens, and now drops Supply Raptor out of the top 10 and into the bottom 5. Well, there's still more people to do their laps. DXD Ishigo is going to be the next one to cross the line in the Alfa Romeo. Can he do anything about it? Does he want to get a qualifying 3 appearance? Of course he does. We'll see if this Alfa Romeo outfit and his pace can around the Hungarian circuit. Can he get up into the top 10? Out of the bottom 5. He's 15th right now. He does. P9. And now Tweaking's out of qualifying 1. He actually beat Luciano's time on merit. So Luciano is now literally P10 on his timetables.
The thing with DXT, and I want to say with Ferrari, is I don't know if they're going to have enough time to start another attempt. They can't come down to the pits. Now, they can recharge the battery and have another go, but I don't think they're going to be able to have a fresh set of tires to have start another lap.
DRC Jared, he's going to go and start another lap. That's the Haas of Tweaking. Looks like he was on a, not sure exactly, looks like he was trying to, I guess, squeeze as much time out of the way. He let DRC Jared and the Alpine through. He may actually do a second outlap, as it were, for that Haas right now. He needs about 0.5 of a second to get past Luciano and into the top 10, but it's going to be difficult, especially with this man, DRC Jared. If he does not make a mistake, and if he gets a good lap in, he very well could be up with his teammate Ferrari Nut. Splitting the two McLarens, 16.9 in the Alpine. Purple Sector 1 for Jared. We'll see how it plays out. Remember, he won the Monaco Grand Prix. I can't stress that enough, because apparently I can't stop talking about that. But
no, it was a surprise.
It definitely was, which is why I'm thinking it's very not a surprise. You could get a qualifying 3 appearance here today. We could have a double Alpine qualifying 3.
He's only got I believe that's the Alfa Romeo ahead of him, the DXD. So he doesn't have.
If you are correct.
I don't believe he doesn't have traffic to worry about. As Supply is going to begin a lap, and so is Scartrix, probably just to be on the safe side.
Here comes Jared, around turn 14. He's 14th right now. Well, does that go in the top 10? Yes, he does. 5th, splits the two Ferraris. I said it would not be a surprise if he got at the top 10. I was not wrong. Luciano's now out of qualifying. Same with Zach the Beast and Bailey. And, well, Ferrari Nut's pitted. He's now going to be at the most P8. Well, it's going to be down to Supply Raptor, and I am Tweaking. Supply Raptor needs about 0.9 to get into qualifying 3 to get it past DXD Ishigo with a 17.6. Tweaking needs about 0.7 to get through. And, well,
Supply is up 0.3 after Sector 1.
Checkered flag is out. Qualifying is done for qualifying 2. That means the times have to work now. Deer Hunter and Ferrari Nut are both done. Jared may come into the pits in a few seconds' time. I believe he actually got out of the way from the Haas of I Am Tweaking. We're now going to the
Supply is
7/10
up.
7. He could get there. Scartrix, he's going around turn 14 in around a couple seconds' time. Remember, he's in the top 10 right now. A 17.0. Does he stay there? Does he improve? What does the McLaren do? Across the line. He stays there. Does not improve his position. Supply Raptor, does he get in the qualifying 3 for the first time in the Williams team? It's happened before.
Yeah,
he does.
At the moment, he does.
By about 0.2. But how much does Tweaking improve by?
It's going to come down to
DXD
Tweaking.
have anything to say about it? DXD's invalidated. Tweaking around the final corner. Can we have the shock of the century? Is Tweaking into qualifying 3? No, he's not.
Wow, how about that?
Wow.
Well, yeah, well, you know what? It would seem fitting with the news that
So it's already been dramatic, and it's not even been to the race yet.
no, and you know what? With the last couple of weeks, with the news that's come out with Williams, that just takes your words out of your mouth. If I'm honest, that is the surprise of the year in qualifying, in my opinion.
It is. Minico tops the timetables, the second Red Bull and the second session. Both Mercedes, both Ferraris, both Alpines, both McLarens, and the Williams to Supply Raptor the first time. Williams getting the qualifying 3. DXT Ishigo, Luciano, I Am Tweaking, Zach the Beast, and Bailey are all out of qualifying 2. And it's time for the top 10 shootout for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Well, I said it in qualifying 2. The Williams has been realistically good here in real life if you go look to real life races and real life qualifying especially. That proves the point. Now we go into qualifying 3, 12 minutes, and a top 10 shootout for the ages. 2 Mercedes, 2 Alpines, 2 McLarens, 2 Ferraris, a Red Bull, and a Williams. Who takes pole?
Well, looks like no one's wasting any time. Boss Cookie was on the way out and then had to basically hit the brakes. And of course, this is the computer, by the way, not Boss himself, but he got basically cut up by both Alpines. And
well, I mean, you weren't wrong. Jared's racing Cookie already out of the pit lane,
yeah.
so it's going to be fun. Already trying to get some track position for that qualifying lap. We're going to have how many sets of tires do these guys have? Is it the sole set? Do they have a used set on? Well, do they have 2 fresh ones? Depends on who saves, who doesn't. It's going to be all-out push for the top 10 shootout. Who grabs pole for the Hungarian Grand Prix? It's going to be a wet start.
Well,
that could definitely mean the rest of the race.
I do know this. Ferrari on their first attempt, they did it on mediums, and then they went to softs. And I think most of everyone else just went soft. So I would suspect they have a fresh set at the ready. As the Mercedes.
I know Mercedes, at least Cookie, he went through into qualifying 2 on the medium compounded tire from Q1. So he may have an extra set. Minico's only done 1 lap in both sessions. He may have an extra set, but does he want to save that for the race? He'll be the first one to cross the line. People getting out of the way for
we have a little bit
traffic
of
reasons.
Contact between the Mercedes and the Alpine.
Hopefully it doesn't get too, I guess, touchy now. The laps are starting to come down. Minico, Ferrari Nut going to be the first 2 to cross the line. Then you have both Mercedes. I believe actually one's pitting. Deer Hunter's pitting.
Yep.
Does he have damage?
I would assume he has damage. I don't know what that was about.
What happened here?
Well, they went off on the right-hander that begins Sector 3 after the straight, and they went off basically in that same area where Max Verstappen went off a couple years ago. Or was it last year?
Huh.
Yeah, well...
I think it was last year.
Guess they had a disagreement of who should be the order, so... And ultimately, at the end of that, Deer Hunter loses. So... Boss Cookie's about did his first lap.
Both Ferraris, they are one of the last 2 to start their flying lap. Deer Hunter's obviously in the pit lane. Supply Raptor's going to come across the line now. 9 minutes left to go in the session. Who grabs pole position? The first one to come across the line to set a flying lap should be Minico, but he's invalidated. Behind him is going to be Ferrari Nut in the Alpine. He is not invalidated. He will be the first one that everyone is going to be chasing through and find that provisional pole lap time around turn 14 for the final time of his first run in qualifying 3, the top 10 shootout. The Alpine got a chance and actually did get the inherited pole at Monaco. 16.4 provisional pole. Raptors crashed out at turn 3.
Unfortunate, but he'll start P10.
Does Cookie improve? He does not. He invalidated. Behind him, the other Alpine. Looks like he may have invalidated. Scartrix goes provisional pole. Taylor Clan goes even faster. 4/10 clear.
Unknown if Monaco is on a lap or not. Trying to see.
What do the Ferraris have to say for it? Ron through the final corner. Mumu behind him in turn 13. What can the Ferrari do? He didn't have a good day 2 weeks ago. He goes P4, about 9/10 off of pole. What does his teammate do?
I guess Mumu invalidated.
Actually, Mumu, it was the other way around. Mumu was actually ahead of Ron. That's why I was thinking about.
Yeah, because Mumu didn't set a time. As Monaco does pit.
Cookie invalidated once again. Deer Hunter's on an outlap this time. Is Jared still on a flying lap? Looks like he still is pushing. Does he pit? No, he does not. Yes, he does now. He waited to the last second for that. Looks like everyone's going to go into the pit lane. Deer Hunter's going to start his flying lap in qualifying 3. 4 drivers have set a time. Let's see who gets provisional pole. Right now it's held by Taylor Clan and the Mercedes-powered McLaren. at 15.6, 4/10 clear of his teammate, and 8/10 clear of Ferrari Nut, with 9/10 clear of Ron Swanson, the Ferrari, in 4th. But Mumu's on a flying lap. Deer Hunter's going to be on a flying lap. Everyone else is in the pit lane. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've lost supply for this session. As, Deer went purple sector 1, then had a very squirrely moment at the top of the hill.
We'll have to see. What is Mumu doing in relegation to his teammate? His teammate's P4. He goes P1 to 15.2, 4/10 clear of the McLaren of Taylor Clan. The Ferrari's looking quick.
Well, this is a track that will help them, It's especially early part with it, the possibility of rain, but this isn't an engine-dependent track, and we all know when it comes to that department, Mercedes and Honda have that in spades over the Ferrari and the Renault, but this track really doesn't have that effect on it, as it looks like Deere has just abandoned his first attempt, and now he's going to have a second go at it.
Wasn't happy with his run. He has enough battery, and we'll try again. His teammate Boski out on an out lap. That's an Alpine. DRC Jared is out on an out lap, right next to Deer Hunter.
Yep. So far, we had all but 3 at a time, excluding supply. Those being Cookie, Jared, and Monaco, who are all but Monaco. Monaco's still in the pits. And Deer goes purple again, sector 1. It was weird that
more sectors to go.
It was weird that he backed out the previous lap. It wasn't invalidated.
May have not been to his liking.
Well, true, but it's still better to get a time on the board.
Into 11. A lot of drivers have met their demise here so far this qualifying session. We acclaimed, KP21 and Zach the Beast, both at turn 11. How does that affect in the race? Through 13, into 14. Original pole is a 15.2. Deer Hunter, he backed out of his last one. Does he go even faster this time? He doesn't. A 1/10 and a half behind Mumu and the Ferrari.
It's not bad
The
considering.
Alpine behind him.
It's not bad considering he's got extra lap on those tires.
And Boss Cookie has retired and the exit of turn 3.
About the same place the supply crashed.
That has been the trouble spot. That in turn 11.
We've seen supply crash out there. We saw Bailey crash out there. And
Luciano may have crashed out there.
one wonders if they've clipped either the inside curb or the outside curb, and it's just caused it to just loop around. And that barrel on the inside is fairly close, so I'd like to see someone's on board about that. Approaching 3 minutes and 40 seconds
We're
left.
on a flying lap right now. It's going to be DRC Jared going through turn 11. Outlap for Mumu and the Ferrari. Looks like drivers may start to get their times on the board. What does the Alpine do? Remember, we had a good qualifying session at Monaco. Crazy. Oh, no!
Saved it.
Looped it, turn 13.
They'll have enough time to come down in and get some tires. Let's say. He was purple sector 2, so unknown. As now everyone but Mumu is in the pits. And Mumu just finishing sector 2, coming to sector 3. Taking his time, making sure everything is good. He has got no one really to worry about. It's just him. Currently on P1 pole as now both McLarens leave, Taylor and Scartrix. And Mumu now hits the throttle and starts beginning his attempt. And his teammate Ron is making his way down pit road. So far so good, coming off the first 2 corners down in the second DRS straight. through 3 and 4. Get through there and through sector 1. He's improved by a tenth. And behind Mumu is his teammate Ron. Monaco also comes out. He has not put time on the board. He invalidated his first attempt. As Ron lets Monaco through. Mumu about 2.5 tenths faster after sector 2. Both McLarens are starting their runs now. It will be Taylor first, leaving Oder Scartrix.
Around the final corner, Mumu goes. He's already on provisional pole. He looks like he was going a little bit faster. Iresta Point runs out, but he goes even faster. 14.8.
He's the first one to dip into the 14s.
14s.
I believe next will be the 2 McLarens. They're going to be the next 2. Taylor's up a 10.5.
Monaco and Ron start their flying lap. And now it's to the 2 Alpines. They start their flying laps.
Oh, who has, someone has spun, or is that Mumu letting traffic through? Okay.
Mumu letting traffic through. Taylor has invalidated.
Oh.
Unless he can get back, he's maybe out of qualifying. Scartrix is still good. He's purple sector 2.
He's a second, he's about 1.2 off. Taylor will have a chance to have another go.
It's now or nothing.
Oh.
Scartrix to the line. Taylor doesn't make it. Scartrix gets past Taylor. He gets up to 3rd. Taylor to 4th. Ron Swanson around the final corner. Looks like that is a Ferrari nuts out of qualifying. Turn 2.
Yes, something happened there.
The Red Bull, Monaco. Can he do anything to match or beat Mumu in the Ferrari? Or is this going to be a Ferrari pole position around the final corner? He did it a week or 2 weeks ago. He'll do it again by 7 milliseconds. Monaco gets past Mumu, but can Mumu say anything about it? Does Deere have anything for it? Does Jared have anything? Does Ron Swanson, can he grab the pace? Around the final corner.
No, Mumu's in
He's in
pits.
P9. P6 for Jared. He beats Ron. Deer Hunter's going to be the last one left. He needs to find about 0.5 of a second. Through the penultimate corner. They were talking about sticking it to Merck. That's why they signed Boss Cookie. Well, can Deer Hunter stick it to Merck? Can he stick it to Red Bull? Can he stick it to Ferrari?
Nope.
He cannot. P3.
I tell you,
Nico will grab pole position again.
talking about nailing a lap that just completely nailing it on one go. Remember, he validated his first attempt, and then he literally just sat in the pits for 6 minutes, give or take. So, talk about nailing it when it matters most.
All 3 sessions have been topped by a Red Bull driver. Monaco ahead of Mumu. The Canadian will start 1-2. The Canadians will go on the front row of the grid and the race in a couple moments' time. Deer Hunter ahead of Scartrix. It's an all Mercedes-powered second row. Taylor Clan starts 5th. Jared but alongside him in row number 3. Ron Swanson ahead of Ferrari Nut with Boss Cookie in 9th and Supplied Raptor. The highest qualifying for Williams will start 10th. Oh, it's going to be a great Hungarian Grand Prix, and we haven't even gotten to the race yet.
Well, our question is, if we've seen in qualifying, we saw how many cars crash out? I want to say 7?
At least 7, yeah.
Are we going to see anything similar in the race?
For legal reasons, let's hope not.
No, that's not. But, I mean, they weren't accidents caused by other drivers. They was just accidents caused by pushing it. And
oh, it's pouring. It's not an intermediate start, is it?
no, it's not.
No, it's not. Full wets.
The question...
Well, how will that affect things?
Well, we're going to see who in qualifying went with a dry setup and compromised this part of the race, or the other way around that went with a full-blown wet setup and just compromised qualifying.
All 20 drivers are on the full wet tires. So there is no strategies like we saw in a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to go shout out Axe for a second in Share 1. He tried the impossible.
I think, honestly, with Axe in that race, if he had maybe 3 more laps, it might have worked.
It might have, but now we're on to the Hungarian Grand Prix. You see Mumu already showing his intent. He wants to get up and right ahead past Mumu into past Monaco into turn 1. But let's take about the formation laps. 35 laps of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Normally, this would be a one-stop, soft to medium, or a medium to hard. Soft to medium, medium to soft, or you could do the soft to hard or medium to hard. But it's a rain start, so does it dry out? As Fernand and Buscookie have both been disqualified, that's not going to help their case.
No, it's going to have him on cold tires. And correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you're not allowed to overtake on the formation lap.
You are not unless you give that position right back. So
yeah, well,
we'll figure, I guess, that one out. But some quick little stats here. 15 of the 35 races held in the Hungarian Grand Prix, especially at the Hungaroring, have been won for pole. 42% roughly. So is that going to be 16 for 36? Here tonight, we'll have to figure that one out. The previous winner was also a Red Bull. Red Bull has been dominant here in the last couple of seasons, with that being Ritzy taking home the top step of the podium a season ago here in Realistic. And you go look, a season ago, 62% of the grid who finished had a penalty to their name. So a lot of penalties could be seen here tonight. How does track limits affect things? You see running wide a little bit is one of the McLarens. Well, we see that in the race. It's a wet start, and it's going to be a hectic race. 20 drivers, 14 corners, 35 laps. Who takes the win, and do we see drama?
I think he said the magic word there with penalties. That is another factor that we'll have to keep in mind.
Well, it's going to be relaxed a bit due to the rain start and the wet weather, but it's not going to be relaxed that much. Drivers need to stay within the track limits, and a penalty here may be costly because that DRS train, and once it forms, it's difficult to break, especially if you can stay with the driver in Sector 2, in Sector 3. We now go to the Williams machine. KP21 in 20th position. XF1 goes ahead to his grid spot. From 20th, we'll go from him to the lead. Minico, as everyone else is getting their cars lined up in their respected grid spots. I believe that is Crispy, who is lining up at the moment right now. Yes, he is. We now go from a long break and racing being absent from Formula One, especially in the Breakout Racing League. Well, now we're ready, and it couldn't be a better race already. 35 laps, and it's lights out, and away we go. And it's a decent start from the Red Bull of Mumu, and Minico, he actually gets up, and it's going to be alongside, but he's going to be ahead into turn 1, but does Mumu go back at him? 3 wide, that's to be 2 McLarens, and the Alpine looking around the outside. That's going to be one of the McLarens. A little bit of contact between the 2 McLarens and the Mercedes driver. Around the outside, Minico will take the lead ahead of Mumu. It's going to be once again, as all it is so far from the first lap of the Grand Prix. Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, McLaren. A little bit of contact, running wide, the Aston Martin. 3 wide down into turn 3. That's not going to work. Running wide a little bit. That's a Mercedes. I believe that is Boss Cookie. Ferrari still battling out, but here comes Supply Raptor. Look at DXC Ishigo down the inside of turn 4, backs out of it. Supply Raptor up to 9th. DXC Ishigo to 10th. Ron Swanson down to 11th. Looks like it's been a clean start so far.
Ron down 4 spots, 5 spots from the start.
Oh! It's like Taylor Clan. A little bit of position loss from him.
That's going to be one warning for him.
Positions. XF1 down a couple of positions. Same with KP21 battling out for the battle for 18th. It'll be Phantom, Axe, and KP21. Look at the gap to lead already. 1.1 seconds. Yellow flag. Phantom's around.
Oh, we have another car around as well. I believe that is...
Turn 11. That is DXC Ishigo.
Yes, he was running 10th.
It's been 1 lap. There's still a plenty amount to go. The Alpha Tauri's battling battle for 12th. Bailey had a Crispy up 5 places already. Ron Swanson gets past Supply Raptor. Battle for 9th. Minico sets the fast lap. It's the first lap, so of course he's going to set that. But how it goes now, there's no DRS. Who takes the spot and down into turn 1? Will any late break moves We'll see Lost Cookie and Ferrari Nut. Is there going to be late braking? Yes, he does. Down the inside. Late braking for the Mercedes. He leaves the room. Little bit of contact, forcing a little bit wide. And that's going to be the Mercedes up to 7th. Ferrari Nut down to 8th. Bubba moves already. Luciano gets past Applied Raptor. Battle for 10th. Zach the Beast and Ed Tronha. Battle for 15th. Like I said, it's going to be difficult to move up positions here in Hungary. Even more so when it's raining. Phantom in the pits.
Looks like the front two right now, Monaco and Mumu, are basically checked out. The Deer is basically, he is leading the train behind him with both McLarens, and then looks like Jared. As fortunate for Phantom and DXT. But it's only lap 1, we're working lap 2. Hey, probably the two cars that have made a really good start, the Alpines, or I'm sorry, AlphaTauris. Crispy's up 5 spots, Bailey's up to P13, trying to maintain P4 in the championship. Crispy's made up the most spots.
Stands, it would actually be in favor of the Ferrari. We have a little bit of a look. Right now, XF1 on Ed Tronha, not going to make the move work just yet. You may have to wait until turn 1. It's going to be difficult in that middle sector, especially in the rain. You see Zach the Beast behind I am tweaking in the Haas. How fast does he get through the field? That's going to be a big talking point. Speaking of a big talking point, what about Minico? Jared gets past Taylor Clan. Battle for 5th. But here comes Mumu on Minico. What happened to the Red Bull? Side by side under the turn 1. Squeezing almost a little bit of contact, forcing him a little bit wide. Still more contact. Mumu's not giving up. This was his seat. Remember that.
Yes, it
was.
was.
Before Baku. Down the inside. Turn 2 still there. Still side by side. Getting the elbows out already. Lap 3. Contact. Forcing his way through and making his presence known. Minico gets the position back.
We saw that a couple of weeks ago here with Alonso. Mumu trying to defend that position like he was. Yeah, something had to happen to him in the final sector because he did lose a second just abruptly.
He may have front wing. Look how slow he went through that chicane in a 6 and 7. I don't think he has damage, but I believe from what I saw, he may have lost the car a bit. In the exit of 14, he was right next to the wall, so I'm guessing he may have almost crashed it and put it in the wall like Sebastian Vettel did 2014, if you remember that.
That was a heck of a save, though, what Vettel did. What that has done is they had 2 seconds over Deer Hunter. Now Deer and Jared's gotten by Taylor Clan, but they brought the whole field back together now.
He may have damage. It looks like he's struggling in the Red Bull here.
I believe you're right. His pace has not been the same.
Going defensive, breaking the slipstream. No DRS since the wet weather. Is there going to be a move down the inside? No, it doesn't. Mumu looks around the outside. Just once again, can't find an opening. He finds an opening there, but it looks like the traction goes to the Red Bull of Minico ahead of him. Is there any move down in the turn 3? Zach the Beast makes a move. He gets past I am tweaking. Battle for 14th. One Red Bull on the move. The other one trying to hold position. Zach the Beast, it looks like he's around. No, it's not. It's going to be Phantom. Looks like Zach the Beast is actually fighting back at I am tweaking. Battle for 15th and 14th once again. KB21 gets past Ed Tronha. Battle for 17th. And, well, this battle is up and down the grid.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I mean, the last couple laps, whatever has happened to Minico, it's certainly, he is definitely off the pace, and he is leading a train of cars. The top 7 are directly behind him. His boss gets the first penalty of the day.
That may affect him. How much so, though? Ferrari Knight gets overtaken by Ron Swanson. The Ferrari's moving up positions. Mumu wishes he can do that right now. 7/10 behind the Red Bull of Minico. He's actually gained a bit through that sector. Zach the Beast past Crispy. Crispy actually down a couple of positions. Maybe running wide. Down. Actually, he's down 3. Safety car.
I wonder if this is because of visibility. We don't see anyone crashed out.
Crispy has no front wing.
Oh, there you go.
That may be the cause.
And Crispy was running P13. I think him and Bailey swapped.
I believe he was ahead of Bailey before that all happened, so he was around his teammate. Looks like he may have, by my predictions, may have lost it on the curb, exit of turn 7, the the chicane, and maybe put it into the barriers. 2 cars in the pits, Axe F1, Crispy following him in. Is that going to be a change of front wing for Axe, or is it just for Crispy?
the information that we got for this weather is that it was not supposed to rain the entire race, supposed to rain at the start.
Intermediates.
Well, Axe is going to
Maybe
gamble.
that's why.
Well, Axe is in a position to where, you know, why not and gamble? DXD also is going to gamble. I mean,
they're planning on the safety car to stay out. Maybe the weather kind of hampering off a bit and tapering off. Right now you see a ton of puddles on outside of the racing line. Maybe some of this safety car running is not going to help it, especially because of the low speed, but maybe more drivers can clear off more lines and maybe get some of those puddles away and hope for these guys on the intermediate tires, F1 and DXD Shigo, that it does clear off enough and the rain kind of persists a little bit, but not too much for the intermediates can actually, you know, start to work in a couple of laps or so. They may struggle on the opening couple of laps, but if they don't have to pit, they'll gain a significant amount of time.
Indeed, they will. And my question pertains around Monaco right now. We've seen the last, before the safety car, him just drop off the pace. Either he had damage. When he came down the front stretch, I didn't know if he was defending or if he was trying to cool off his tires.
That's what I thought too. But, I mean, then he was, I mean, the Ferrari is still at a straight line deficit to the Honda. And I saw him overtaking. Speaking of overtaking, Luciano and Ferrari not having a little bit of gamble. Some guys going into the pit lane, Luciano being one of them, and Supply Raptor being the other.
Supply made a really good start, maintained for the Williams.
Or intermediate.
Yeah.
Luciano, intermediate. Supply Raptor, does he go? Yes, he does.
And Crispy's pitting.
Crispy's going to pit again. I believe that's intermediate.
I believe he's going to pit for intermediates.
I bet he regrets not pitting for that intermediate the first time around.
Well, he was already going to be in the back to begin with the front wing damage. Probably didn't have that on, wasn't occupied with that, as I think Phantom's going to do the same as well, pit for inters. It's a gamble.
Looks like the rain is definitely subsiding a bit. It's not raining as hard. You definitely see the track surface. I think that is towards intermediate conditions. Well, if we had our own weather forecaster up here, like the drivers do down in the cockpit, I would probably ask him, is it intermediate conditions? Well, right now it looks like it. We just can't know for sure until the times start coming in. Because right now, all these drivers behind the safety car, it helps a tad bit, but you can't determine if it's fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's still puddles there, but it does look like there is a line starting to form. It's going to be very narrow, of course, and, you know, if you overstep it, you know, it could cause problems for you. But, yeah, there are still puddles there, but there is certainly a line forming of no puddles.
It's going to be risky indeed, especially these guys in the intermediate conditions, if it still kind of continues with this weather a little bit, because it's yeah, I agree with that. It's borderline. Minico actually will come in. It looks like he may be the first. Bring Mumu in with him. Staying out, Deer Hunter in the Mercedes. He's going to gamble this. Same with the McLaren of Scar Tricks. He'll stay out as well. I believe Taylor Clan will stay out. No, yes, he will. Both McLarens. The Ferrari, that is Ron Swanson, he'll stay out as well.
Well, the thing, though, is look who's all going to jump him. The guys that pitted just a lap prior.
That is true. XF1 could very much be leading this race.
Yes, he can.
If these guys in the top four come to stop. Luciano, he gained a significant amount of positions. Supply Raptor, DXT Ishigo.
Yeah.
Crispy, I said he may have been regretting not coming in for that intermediate. Well, he's ninth now, but he may even be higher up.
If the wet tires aren't ideal, I mean, one would assume the safety car should be coming in this time. Yeah. You kind of wonder if...
That's a good point.
You kind of wonder if McLaren and Deere and Ron maybe have shot themselves in the foot there.
It's possible. We have to determine how the weather really continues on during the safety car, because it may very well stay. That looks intermediate condition from the onboard of Taylor Clan here. That looks pretty much intermediate. So these guys may be at a disadvantage. But we've already talked about the numerous amount of spins we had in qualifying. That was in dry weather. What if you have to go offline to overtake someone? Safety car is in this lap, so watch out for that. We could have a very hectic start and restart, rather, of this Grand Prix. Lap 7 of 35, 6 laps completed. We're coming to complete lap 7. And, well, there's plenty of time left in this Grand Prix. Could it get dry? Does an intermediate stay the entire way? How does the intermediate tires fare against the wet tires? Do these guys even continue on the wets? We'll have to figure that one out. Deer Hunter backing the field up. And it looks like he will stay out. Scar Tricks, Taylor Clan, Ron Swanson will stay out as well. So everyone on the full wets are going to stay out. And it's going to be up to Deer Hunter's discretion. He's still not on the loud pedal. And he's gone. Ron Swanson goes in. Same with Taylor Clan. It's going to be between Scar Tricks and Deer Hunter. XF1's going to be the lead. Well, look at this. 3 wide looking for it down to the inside. That's going to be Luciano, Raptor, and DXC Ishigo. Contact between the Alfa Romeo. Oh, almost went around. Now it's going to be Supply Raptor battling the Alfa Romeo. Down in the turn 2, Luciano is going to be a better exit for the Alfa Romeo again. Looks like the Williams are not going to be around to go for that move this time. Still side by side. In a turn 2, in a 3. The Alfa Romeo gets a position. Oh, no!
Oh, wow.
3
4
cars
wide.
around. That's going to be the Ferrari, Crispy, and the Alpha Tauri, and it looked like it may have been the Williams of Supply Raptor as well. Is there any damage for those guys? Looks like no so far. They're still about going 3 wide. Crispy on the inside of Mumu. Contact. Saves it. What a save from the Alpha Tauri. But that's going to lose them so much positions, maybe even damage. And look at where they are now. Crispy's now next to his teammate. No front wing, I think that was. It may have just been an Alpine. The angle been a little bit wrong.
Hey, one that's made places since the start. Monaco's up from P10 to P6. And so far, the 2 cars on wet, they are holding him off. Axe is still, though, within touch. They've not put away from him.
KP21 gets past. I am tweaking. Battle for 16th. The Williams moves up a position. He's now chasing after BRL Phantom in the Aston Martin. Scar Tricks pits from P2. He's now going to go off those full wet tires onto the intermediate tires. Deer Hunter's going to stay out an extra lap. And fastest lap goes to Boss Cookie. But how close is Minico for this move on DXD Ishigo? DXD just lets him through.
And Monaco's now got Axe ahead of him. And if I was Axe, as much as I would love to see him fight it, I think this is a losing battle at the end of the day. But so far, so well for Axe.
Oh! Oh, around goes the Ferrari of Mumu. But there was a contact between Luciano and DXD Ishigo, and I believe DRC Jared may have been involved with it a little bit as well. So Mumu has now lost a significant amount of time. Down to P16 behind Ed Tronha.
It's amazing what has the last 5 laps have seen. We had both Ferraris and both McLarens out front. Now they're from 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. How this race has just completely flipped for them.
Yes, it has. Now it's going to be the battle for 16th. As now Mumu is going to look for that move on Ed Tronha, the best opportunity and most, closest move he can. Minico, speaking of closest moves, he's looking and eyeing up that second place currently held by Axe F1 in the Haas. Does he let him by, or is it a little bit difficult for Minico to get past?
Just be patient right now if you're Monaco. You know you get the pace advantage.
Yellow flag. Eteronha's around. Actually, I believe
that's Boss.
it is. It may have. Not exactly sure, but look at this. Minico and XF1. Actually, Zach the Beast. He's gone around. Minico grabs the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's now up to second past XF1. And his teammate Zach the Beast has spun around, I believe, at the exit of turn 12. He's now down to 19th, ahead of I Am Tweaking and the Haas by about 34 seconds or so. Now it's going to be between Deer Hunter, Minico. Deer Hunter still out on those full wet tires.
He's so far making him work, even though now he's got Monaco behind him. I think that's going to be hard to defend with that. As now we have both AlphaTauris, both Alpines in the points. Luciano P6, DXT P5. Nice recovery for him.
Positions. Eteronha down a couple of positions as well.
Boss Cookie spun around the same area where Zach spun. And I wonder if there was contact there, as Nico's all over Deer now.
Yes, he is. He's looking for this move. Deer is all over the place. Almost loses the car. The exit of turn 9 into 10 and 11. Deer is going to stay there, running a little bit wide. Stays on the track, though.
Ooh.
Goes defensive into 12. Jared gets past Axe. Battle for third. Monaco is looking for the move around the outside of turn 13 on Deer Hunter. Contact spins him around.
Wow.
That's going to lose Deer Hunter and Monaco significant amount of time. DRC Jared, remember, he won the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yes, he did.
Now he's leading the Hungarian Grand Prix in the wet.
And somehow, some way, Axe is P2, and now I have DXC Luciano P4. I don't know what happened between Monaco and Deer. Deer's on medium tires. Looks like Boss Cookie is pitting. Or I'm sorry, the wet tires.
It's it's kind of funny because we both said to watch out for these two guys. DRC Jared obviously won the Monaco Grand Prix, and Axe had a heck of a race in Monaco and a heck of a qualifying. Look who's now 1-2. DXC Ishigo in P3. Luciano closing in on him. Supply Raptor.
It's P5.
He's up into 5th, but he's definitely not safe right now. Crispy's behind him. Minico's behind him. Actually went for that move. Crispy lets him by. The sister car lets the Red Bull up into P6. They will chase after. Supply Raptor in the Williams in 5th. But ahead of him, Luciano and DXC Ishigo closing in. A little bit of battle brewing between those two drivers. Battle for third.
Right now, this is setting up pretty nicely for Jared. He just needs to pull away and just focus forward.
Raptor goes off the track almost and lets Minico back through. Into 5th he goes.
I don't know if Monaco picked up any damage from that half spin that he had with Deer. Deer is still out there with his 10-lap wets. He has not pitted yet. Oh!
No!
No front wing for Axe. That's
Safety
unfortunate. Car. Oh, yes, the safety car. As Deer does pit.
That's going to help his case. But this also hurts the likes of DRC Jared. He had a 5-second gap to Minico. Actually, to DXC Ishigo,
Yeah.
and had about a second gap from him to Minico, so about 6 seconds or so. But now they all bunch back up again.
Quite unfortunate for Axe as Deer comes out of the pits and he's P18. And those Ferrari and McLarens, they were, P16 a minute ago? Well, they're now P10 to P13. They're just kind of...
Definitely take advantage of that.
They've been in formation. It's been those four in that order, give or take.
Oh, I Am Tweaking has been given a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. He can't serve that during the safety car conditions, and I believe it was, France a couple of weeks ago. He had the same thing happen, took him out of contention.
Well, how many times do I annoy you every race when a safety car comes out of your Delta?
All the time.
Right, well, that's why. Because it's better to annoy you than you having to lose 20 seconds because of something. For what? You're not going to gain anything. Even though he's P19, but still. We've seen it before.
Well, now, he will have to serve that drive-through. He'll have 3 laps, I believe, after the safety car comes in to serve that. Axe F1 goes off into the barriers at turn 13. Being a little bit too deep.
Yeah, with no front wing there.
Needs to be careful into this corner here.
Very careful.
He's into the safety of the pit lane, so now it's down. And ahead of him is actually Ron Swanson in again. Is that going to be for another set of intermediates? I believe so.
Yeah.
So that moves Eterona up into 15th. Axe F1's going to grab a front wing change and some new intermediate tires. It was going pretty well for the Haas. He was up in the top 5, and now, unfortunately, he will be now relegated to P18.
What? This happened to Axe? Okay, that.
all right.
That's a first.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess teleporting now is a thing in F1. Okay.
So according to the Haas team, we don't want to, apply R&D to their car, but they will invent teleportation.
Yep. Well, at least they're working on something now.
That's true. They're being productive in the off season.
Oh, well.
So back up front, DRC Jared ahead of DXC Ishigo Luciano. That is a very strange podium, but if you're just now tuning in to the Hungarian Grand Prix of the Breakout Racing League, welcome. You've missed absolutely everything we've had so far at a chaotic Hungarian Grand Prix, and it's only been 13 laps. So don't go anywhere, because it's going to be even more chaotic. Minico going to be 4th, Supply Raptor the Williams up into 5th. Both Alpha Tauris 6th and 7th. Crispy ahead of Bailey. Phantom in the top 10. Moo up in the top 10 once again. He was 2nd before his spin and a little bit of excursion.
Where did Phantom come from?
He's kind of silently moving up places, taking advantage of other people's mistakes, and now he's up into the top 10, and it's impressive.
Oh, Phantom was one of the ones that pitted first for Inters, and then, well, yeah, okay.
But he pitted again. He pitted like twice or 3 times under that safety car. So he's just kind of silently been moving up while others have pitted and made mistakes. He's now up into 8th, Mumo to 9th. Like you said, McLaren has been following them. It was a McLaren-Ferrari formation. Ron pitted again. And now he's into 17th and is separated behind Deer Hunter and Edronha. But now, Scartrix and Taylor Clan is going to be the 2 pressurizing Mumu in the Ferrari for 9th. Ferrari Nut in the Alpine in 12th. KP21 ahead of Zach the Beast. Zach the Beast has just not been able to get around a lot of these guys, and a couple of mistakes here and there, but he's been hovering around in the 14th position. Can he make a move on in the second stint in the second half of this race? At Tronha in 15th, like I said, Deer Hunter in 16th. Mercedes have had a difficult race so far, and it's kind of been their entire season so far, and it's kind of carried over even after the break. Ron Swanson 17th, 18th for Axe, 19th for Cookie, and 20th for I Am Tweaking, who has a drive-through penalty. And like I said at the formation lap, 62% of last season's finishers had a time penalty. It's only 2.
Well, technically only 1. Tweaking has a drive-through.
Yeah.
Boss Cookie's the only one that's gotten a 3-second penalty, which is a bit surprising, even though this is the second safety car, so...
It's pretty impressive.
What's been weird is how much this leaderboard has changed. And
oh, definitely, because it was, a Canadian 1-2, with it being Minico ahead of Mumu. And all of a sudden, we fast forward halfway into the race. It's now Jared ahead of DXC Ishigo and Luciano.
You had Ferrari and McLaren up
Luciano.
Front.
Yeah, Luciano crashed out in qualifying 2,
yeah.
Sorry. And DXC Ishigo was barely out of qualifying 2. Jared, he started in the top 5.
Actually, if you look at P5, Supply crashed down Q3, then Crispy Q1, and then Bailey Q2.
Look at Jared backing him all the way up. Now he goes. Minico got a great start, great jump.
Oh,
DXC
DXC.
Ishigo letting everyone through. Almost lost the car. He was from 2nd, now he's going to go into 7th. Minico down the inside of Luciano. It's a cluster right now.
Crispy's up to P4.
Oh, big crash!
Luciano is off.
Luciano into the wall. No front wing for the Aston Martin.
That car just went abruptly left.
It did. Looks like it may have been some contact. Taylor gets past Supply Raptor. Battle for 6th. The McLaren gets past the Williams. He's now chasing after Bailey in the Alpha Tauri. Zach gets past Deer, who got passed by Cookie. Cookie passes them both up to 13th. And now Deer down the position to Ron, battling the midfield and the backfield. Mumi gets past Supply Raptor. Battle for 7th.
DXD, who had an issue right at the restart and probably dropped all the way to P7, is now back up to P4. As Minico is now all over the tail of Jared. We'll see if how patient he'll be this time around.
Well, knowing what Jared could do in the wet, I don't think he'll be that patient. We'll have to figure that one out as it goes on. What will he do? Ron Swanson gets past KP21. Battle for 13th. Drifting in the exit of turn 13. Ferrari gets past Cookie. Battle for 11th. The Alpine looking for that position to get in the top 10. Well, he just got it. Got past Phantom. The Alpine now double points finishing. But can they hold on for long? Jared won Monaco. He's in the lead at Hungary. How much longer will he hold on? Down the inside looking for a move? No. Looks better this time. Minico.
And not too far behind these guys is Crispy, who started, where did he start? P17, I believe.
Something like that. Phantom and Zach the Beast battling for 13th. A lot of chaos going on in the backfield. Look at this around the outside looking. Zach the Beast on Phantom. If he can make it stick, this will be an excellent move down to the turn 3. Still side by side. Backs out of it. Around the outside. Look at that. Cookie for the move. He backs out of it too. Oh! Zach skates across the curb. Off the track. Joins back on ahead of Anton Onheim. Battle for 17th now.
Yeah, Zach has not had the good first half of this race that he has wanted. As looks like Mumu and both McLarens are slowly starting to make their way through this field. Up now to P6, 7th, and 8th.
Cookie gets past KP21, battling right now for 13th. Around the outside looking. That's now on Axe, F1 on KP21. Side by side for those two drivers. KP gets the nod. Here comes Deer Hunter. He's going to go for this move. Can he get them both? No, he doesn't. He's going down the inside of Axe. Almost contact. Zach Tavisa's now in this battle again. Deer around the outside of 14.
Meanwhile, up front, Nico thought about it. No.
Zach Tavisa on X. Side by side down the main straightaway. Later on the brakes for the Haas. Oh! Almost loses the car. Saves it. But Dax gets the position now. Up to 16th. Cookie gets past Phantom. Mumu gets past Deeks to Ishigo. And now we're back up for the battle for the lead.
Got Supply in P9. He's trying to hold off Ferrari Nut and Ron behind him. Doing a good job of just keeping the car exactly where it needs to be. In these conditions, it's basically down to that. If you can just keep it exactly and get good traction off, it's going to be very hard to overtake as we have a yellow sector.
Yellow flag.
Oh, I
Axe
believe
F1.
that's Axe. He's not retired, but
Looks like he may have spun around.
he's not.
Safety car. Full safety car.
Well,
Where is Axe?
Axe is.
Oh, he spun all the way to the left-hand
Yes.
side. I went on board and he's in the grass. I'm like, where are you?
Well, we have guys 10 laps on their inters. I don't see anyone pitting unless they have damage. Boss Cookie is pitting.
Both Mercedes. Double stack.
It's still, in my opinion, raining just
Front
hard,
wing
hard
change. That'll
enough.
do it.
Yeah, that would do it because it's still, I mean, it's still raining, so there's no sort of gambling here.
This is going to hurt over Deer Hunter. By the way, that is the medium tires. So, about that gambling.
I think that's very ambitious. I mean,
XF1's in as well.
I believe that's very, very ambitious because it's still actually raining. I can understand if it's... Unless they know something that we don't. The forecast was suggested that it was going to stop raining at some point in time in this race. And with the 3 safety cars, you would... You know, we've... I think we're working lap 18 here. Yet
I don't think the track's ready enough for dries.
I don't think it is either.
So I'm on board now with Deer Hunter. Look how careful he has to caress the car going through a lot of these corners. Look at the dry line. It's still barely there. It's still wet.
He's losing time to tweaking in front of him.
He's losing time to Luciano behind him. Luciano was in the pits.
Yeah,
I believe with him, so.
Like I said, very ambitious, and if I don't see him staying out at all. I mean, it literally has to stop raining, like literally now, for this to work, and it doesn't look like that's the case at the moment.
Everyone else appears to stay out, so no one else has taken that gamble with him. And Luciano is just wishing he could get past Deer Hunter right now. Because he can't catch up to the safety car if Deer can't catch up to the safety car.
No, and what everyone is doing is they're looking at Deer and they're I think they see the obvious with him struggling just to catch up on the safety car, but he is going to be the guinea pig of do slicks working. Right now, that answer is a resounding no.
According to Neymar, he actually gave the call to Deer Hunter. So,
fair play to Deer for gambling, but I don't think that was the wise. It wasn't the right choice to gamble at, right? I mean, yeah.
he completed 18 laps. We're now on lap 19 of 35 of the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 11 of 24 of the Breakout Racing League Realistic Championship. Now we have to wait on Deer Hunter Luciano and XF1 to go catch up to the safety car queue. Deer Hunter is on the medium compounded tires, and I still don't think this is the right call. Almost, see, look at this. The traction, just not there.
It's, if anything, he better hope, well, the safety car isn't in this lap, thankfully for him.
Will he actually catch up to the safety car?
Well, he will eventually catch up, but he is slowly catching up on the straights, but it's,
I'm not sure. I mean, if it goes, I think the safety car should realistically go in next time by. So, is Deer Hunter going to stay out here? He is going to stay out here.
I mean, the rain is slowly letting up. It's not as heavy as it was at the start, but it's certainly not, and it's just not time.
The rain is definitely lighter.
And there are not as many
puddles.
puddles.
Almost to that point.
There's no really puddles out there, so
It could be close here.
the rain is letting up. I will say that. I mean,
It's just until it gets dry.
there's not really any puddles out there, as there was, let's say, 10 laps ago. The question is how much heat is in his tires, and trying to drive around cold slicks on a damp track, you just have no grip.
Well, we'll have to see when we go back green in a couple moments.
Going through
time,
sector 2, it looks like the rain has stopped.
It does look like the rain has stopped.
Well, the safety car has actually been long enough to where this actually might come into play, because it's not raining now. They're going through sector 3 now. I don't see any rain.
I don't either. So how long will this track stay wet enough for the intermediates to stay fast? Because I think it may be at least a lap or two. Isn't Monaco going in? Yes, he is going in.
Looks like a lot
He's going to bring Mumu in with him, Crispy in with him. The rest of the field is going to go back green. Jared steps on the loud pedal, and back green racing we go. Lap 21 of 35.
What tires would they go on? One would assume the mediums. They can make it the rest of the way easily. As we had 6 people come into pit.
On the medium. Ferrari Nut Supply Raptor battle for 5th happening on. He's past him. Cookie and KP21, yellow flag.
That being said, though, I think this is going to be a hard gamble here, because Deer just got passed by Luciano, and he is losing time hand over fist over time over him right now. So the question is,
one thing to notice, Mumu jumped Monaco.
Yes, he did.
So now, when do these guys go in? They keep it and K it out, because right now, 13 of the 20 drivers are still on the intermediate tire. But looking on, that looks pretty dry.
It looks dry right now. looking at the pace, Mumu is losing still some time to Jared. You know, the inters might work out for a couple of laps here. And if you're able to build a gap, Jared can still pit and retain the lead. And right now, he's got about 21.5-second lead over Deere, 30 seconds over Mumu. So right now, the slick tires, they are actually slower. They're the slower tire at the moment.
Scartrix gets past DXE Ishigo, battle for that podium position, third place. And as you said, they do look a little slower. So, how, right now, I mean, let's go look at the gap to leader here. We could
Mumu's
possibly
lost 3
see
seconds in the last 15 seconds.
Jared could come out if he pits, still in the lead. Battle for 19th. Tweaking gets past Bailey in the AlphaTauri.
I still don't think mediums were the right call. It isn't raining, yes, that is the case, but the sun isn't out, which helps dry the track. It's still pretty gloomy out there, so it's going to have to take, just by virtue of running spray off the track, to help dry the track right now. And Mumu right now is 39 seconds behind. A lap prior,
lost 6 seconds just this lap.
Mumu, if I'm right, he lost basically 9.
It looks like we may have another crazy race. Yellow flag. That is turn 4 and 5. Looks like they got back going again. Scartrix actually set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's not done charging. He's closing in on Crispy.
I believe that was Phantom that had his issue. I believe Taylor has crashed. He has spun.
Yes, he has.
Did that produce another safety
Turn
car?
6 and 7. Looks like it's not. His teammate, though, Scartrix, is on the charge.
To show that how the medium tires aren't working, Deere is 38 seconds behind Jared.
He lost 8 seconds just this half a lap. This was not the call. Crispy goes a little bit deep. That's going to open the door for Scartrix, but when does he make the move?
Yeah, the
0.7 seconds.
Phantom
Battle between
pits.
Jared and Crispy.
Looks like Phantom and Taylor
Looks like
pits.
they're going to go back on to the intermediates, I think, which I don't think they should. I think if you're already chosen this time,
Yeah.
stick it out.
Well, Taylor's actually DNF'd. He's retiring the pit
Cookie
lane.
gets past DXDE. Battle for 4th position. But do we see a move for 2nd here? Scartrix is on the charge.
Phantom pits
Can he get past?
for mediums. He will be lapped.
Safety car. And
Wow.
that's going to help the entire grid.
It's going to help the entire grid, but it's really going to hurt all those ones that pitted at the end of that safety car. I mean,
It's going to help the soft runner, or the medium runners, and it's going to definitely hurt the intermediates. I mean, look
Well,
at Jared's gap.
well, here's the question.
52 seconds.
52 seconds, but here's the thing. If you're Jared, if you're Crispy, if you're Startrix, do you pit? Because, yeah, the medium tire right now does not seem to be the preferred tire, but when is it going to become the preferred tire? If you think it's going to be at the end of this safety car, then you have to pit.
It really depends on how much the track dries within these safety car laps. This is now, our 3rd safety car of the day, and we're approaching the, I guess, the 2/3 mark of the race. We've completed 23 laps. We're on lap 24 of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Deer Hunter actually goes on the soft compounded tire. He's going to try to go to the end. On the slicks, he thinks it's going to dry out. Maybe it will.
Well, the soft tire for the race wasn't going to be the preferred tire, but in these conditions, it might. It's going to be the best tire to deal with these conditions. And the safety car, let's say, ends at lap 27, so you're going to have to deal with, what,
Jared is in.
8 laps?
Wait, Wait, what?
Jared's not in. Boss Cookie does pit, though. He's
Either
up.
I was watching the wrong thing, or my eyes just played a huge trick on me while I had something else.
I think your eyes played the trick, but only Boss Cookie's the only one in. Luciano comes in and pits as well. Boss to soft.
What does the weather look like? Looks still pretty damp, but it may get towards the track drying towards this end of the safety car.
Well, the track is certainly drying, but one thing I have noticed is the cloud cover has stayed the same. I think if you were going to put on slicks, and if you were going to gamble, I do concur with Boss Luciano. The softs are probably going to be the ideal tire to be on. The question is, will those tires hold up for the end? As Tweaking gets a 3-second penalty. We've not had many of those as well in this race.
No, we have not. Same with retirements. A season ago, we had 13 runners finish the race out of 20, and through 24 completed laps from now on lap 25, we've had one retirement. We lost Tail Clan in the pit lane, and after qualifying, we had about 6-7 retirements. This is not at all what I thought would have happened in the race.
Let's see, Bailey's in. And wow, he goes back on the intermediates.
Maybe to catch the pack a bit.
Perhaps.
At the moment, I don't think he will.
So far, we have 17 cars on the lead lap. Phantom and Tweaking are 1 lap down. And that could cause a problem for up front, as I believe Phantom is, I want to say, what, P5 on track, but not reality P5.
So I believe everyone except for Luciano on back. No, actually Phantom on back. No, wait. No, that's right. Luciano is in that queue. I believe Phantom and Tweaking are actually, yeah, they are in that queue. The only ones not being Bailey, Deer Hunter, Moo, and Monaco. And what a race this has been for seeing two of the front runners, especially two people who started on the front row, Monaco and Moo, 14th and 15th.
Monaco and Moo's race is going to be what the stock market has looked like in the last year, just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, 10 minutes ago, Monaco was P1, and then pits for slicks, and that doesn't work. Same thing with Moo. Moo was up front. They gambled and pitted, and they were
He pits again.
Yes, he does. Oh, well, intermediates. I mean, that last stint before the safety car, it was just the medium runners were running hands over fists. It would be interesting to see what the soft runners do. And they will complete lap 27 at the minimum under the safety car, as the safety car hasn't come in. So it's going to leave, what, 8 laps for softs?
Something like that.
I believe that.
Usually they go around that time frame as well, so I think that's a perfect window for the soft tires.
The question is how, with these safety car and with the slow driving, how are they able to keep up tire temp?
Probably not, depending on really the track temperature itself, the ambient temperature of that circuit right now. I mean, as you still see, it's a little slick. The dry line's still there, but I mean, if that's not something to look out for, Scartrix may have just gone offline to cool his tires a bit. So are they overheating the intermediates? We didn't talk about that.
I have noticed a little bit of that. Looks like Supply has done the same little bit of cooling his tires. I think if you're up front, like Jared, Crispy, Star Tricks, one, you hope the sun doesn't come out because I think you've kind of made your bed now. Whereas if you're guys like Boss Cookie, Luciano, Monaco, you're kind of hoping that the sun does immediately come out and it just saw the sun start straying.
Well, it's going to be an interesting turn of events. We have 4 cars you have to catch the safety car queue, that being Monaco, Bailey, Deer Hunter, and Mumu. You see moving down into turn 2 right now. The leader's going into turn 9, 10, and 11. And, well, it's going to be an interesting restart. Does it come in this time, or does it come in? It does come in this time.
Yep.
Which is going to be an interesting feat. But you'll see it all from the camera angles. But if you are uneducated to what happened in the Formula One world, we lost a great man and a dear man to a lot of the Formula One community and to Formula One itself. It was heritage, it was a lot of passion, and it really was everything that that Formula One represents. We lost on on November 28th, Sir Frank Williams. So in honor of him and his legacy, this entire lap, you will not hear a word from myself or Bois. Thank you for all the lasting memories and heritage that you brought to the sport, Sir Frank Williams. And now you see from here on lap 29 of this realistic race down the inside, Scartrix goes for it on Crispy. It was a lot of moves, and we lost Ed Tronha in the exit of turn turn 1 on that lap 28. And now we have about 7-ish laps to go. Mumu sets the fastest lap. Boskaki actually gets past Bailey in 10th on the softs. Is it yet ready for drive?
Actually, I take that back. No, Boss Cookie got by Supply. Supply's now in the pits. I think he had damage. Bailey has made up a lot of time on his inner stint. I don't know if slicks are ideal. I think Boss is making it work, but no one else is really is making them work.
Well, right now, once again, it's been a crazy race, but well, barring this McLaren here in second, Scartrix. Look at just look at first, third, and fourth. What race does that remind you of?
Oh, that very much reminds me of Monaco.
Almost to a T, with Crispy being in place of Bailey, as Bailey got second in the Monaco Grand Prix earlier this season. But Jared obviously won that race, with Ferrari Nut finishing P3. We could very much see another Alpine victory. Never mind, Jared goes into the pits. Same with Scartrix. It's time.
I think
Crispy
it is
goes
time.
in. Ferrari Nut goes in. Ron goes in. DXT Ishigo stays out. Zach the Beast goes in. Axe goes in. Boss Cookie from absolutely nowhere.
We'll have the lead.
It looks like it was going to be a very, I guess, gambling strategy. He now takes the provisional lead, barring DXT Ishigo coming in to stop.
And the one who's gonna be P2? Luciano.
Wow.
Well, DXC does stay out, but
Oh, look at this. Scartrix on Minico. Contact between the McLaren and the Red Bull. Yellow flag coming out of the pits. Not exactly sure what happened there. Scartrix stays in P5, though.
Well, we'll see DRS for the first time. Monaco is basically the only one up front that is on mediums. Everyone else is on softs. as this has once again flipped this race on its head.
Skartrix given a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him in his fight against Monaco.
No, it's
And Jared.
not.
Ferrari nuts around. Turn 3. And Boss Cookie has chased down the Alfa Romeo. He's just not on the right tires. And Boss Cookie will take the lead.
Oh, who's that spinning? Is that Phantom? Wait, that is
Like
Phantom.
it may be Phantom.
Left for second was Luciano at first. Luciano, P3, has Jared behind him. They will inherit P2 with DXD hitting this lap. As Bailey gets a 3-second penalty.
Boss Cookie sets the fastest lap. DXD Ishigo finally comes in off of his 25-lap intermediate tires. But look at the battle down to the turn 1. Jared down the inside of Luciano. Skartrix not too far behind. DRS has definitely been activated, and the action's on. Down the inside of turn 3. I'm sorry, turn 2. Skartrix on the inside of Luciano. 3-second time penalty for Mumu.
Ferrari retired on the pit lane. So how this has kind of... We had 2 Alpines in the top 4. Now we only have 1. As still, I wouldn't say over, as who is spun there? Oh, Luciano. Running P3.
That now promotes Crispy up to 4th, Monaco to 5th, and now does he have damage?
Oh, I can't tell. He has Axe behind him. Hey, Axe is in the points. What is that? How about that?
Cookie sets the fastest lap again. Jared goes a little bit wide in the entry of turn 14, but look at the slingshot he'll get on the exit, trying now to fight and stay ahead of this McLaren. Fastest lap at the Grand Prix for Skartrix. He has that 3-second time penalty. Speaking of time penalties, Monaco grabs one around the outside of turn 1. Jared keeps the position, goes defensive, shows his elbows. He wants this position. Goes defensive into 2.
You know, Jared's kind of in a unique position. Skartrix now gets by. You know, Jared just needs to keep...
Still side by side.
Jared just needs to keep Skartrix in front of him, and then he'll gain still P2 with that 3-second time penalty. That's... His Axe tries to take a look over Luciano.
And by the way, where has Zach come from? He's up into 6th.
I have no clue. Oh!
Oh, never mind.
That's your fault. You jinxed him.
Ah,
That's unfortunate. It's
that
okay.
is very unfortunate.
I did. Well, we did that to Monaco accidentally as well. We both. So.
Well, Zach did it to me in my Tier 3 race, so I guess karma strikes twice.
The,
XF1 chasing down Luciano. He's been now given to a 3-second time penalty. I just need to stop mentioning anyone's name.
yeah. Well. All of a sudden, we had no penalties. Now they're starting to come out left and right.
Remember the number, 62% of the grid from last season grabbed a time penalty. Look at the numbers now. Ron Swanson on Crispy.
Oh.
On the outside of turn 1. As he make the move, he goes DRS the second time, down the run into 2. He gets up into 4th.
It's like Bailey's trying to get by
on the
DXD.
outside. He's not done yet. He'll get it this time. Ron up to 4th.
Very good showing for Ron. 2 weeks ago, Craig Britton didn't really get to show why he got moved to Ferrari. This race, though, he is. It's kind of had a quiet race, but it's kind of characteristic of Ron. Just kind of quiet. Don't really hear much out of him. Then when it comes to at the end of it, there he is in the points.
Bailey grabs that position on DXD. He should go up into 10th for that points-paying position. 1 point to his name. Let's look at the fastest lap. As right there, it goes to Mumu, who's not in the top 10. He needed to be in the top 10 to grab that fastest lap point on lap 34 of 35 of the Hungarian Grand Prix for round 11 of the Breakout Racing League Realistic Championship. Deer Hunter gets past DXD.
Yeah, Bailey did get P10, but the problem is he has a 3-second penalty. Luciano He had P8. It's going to be close if he can retain P8 at the moment. And
Crispy fighting back. Look at this. Oh, wow. Lay on the brakes for Monaco.
you have to wonder if there's any... Monaco's a 3-second penalty. I wouldn't know if Zach is allowed to close into that 3-second time or not.
He may have front wing damage from his collision with the barrier. Mumu gets past Deer Hunter, battle for 12th. And Mumu now gets past DXT, battle for 11th. He has a chance at points. He needs 2 seconds. Now, we saw earlier, by the way, Crispy let by Monaco. Will he do it this time?
Not now. I think when he let him by, it was a smart play. There was still a lot of race at hand. Now you're at the finish.
Luciano losing a couple spots, actually down
he's gone
a
wide.
lot of spots. I believe he's off. That puts Mumu up to the points. Luciano, 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
That should get removed. He didn't gain anything. I didn't understand.
Now we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix.
Red Bull drivers from P5 to P8.
The gap to look out for. Scartrix, 1.7 over Jared. If Jared grabs a penalty, Scartrix will grab second. If not, it right now would go to the Alpine.
And so far, Crispy's still holding off Monaco.
Mumu on Axe, battle for 10th. Now battle for 9th. Mumu up to 10th. And I'm sorry, Mumu up to 9th. Luciano is out of the Grand Prix in 14th. Retires in the pit lane.
Unfortunate for him. He was running P8 and just, I don't know what happened. We have a Mercedes and we have a, trying to see who that is.
Deer Hunter.
I believe that's
Looks like
DXT.
Deer Hunter and DXT. Speaking of Mercedes, it's been an up and down season, mostly down. It has been struggle weekend after weekend, and they are third in the Constructors' Championship, not being where they want to be. Cookie has had struggles ever since Spain. He comes in the Mercedes for Hungary. Well, now what? He'll win in the Mercedes at Hungary. For the first time this season, Mercedes will taste the champagne of the first podium position. Scartrix grabs second, but he'll get jumped by Jared at the end. Jared to second, Scartrix to third. Ron Swanson, he'll grab his best finish of the season. Fourth position in the Ferrari, and at the line, Crispy will get Monaco, but Monaco has a time penalty anyway. Zach DeVries has crashed,
will not finish.
and Bailey has been spun around.
So is Mumu.
The final corner, Bailey has been spun around by Mumu, who'll actually get the position back. But now, I think Mumu is going to get out of the points here. No, he's not. Mumu gets 9th. Zach DeVries will get 10th.
No, he won't. I don't think Zach will get 10th because there you go.
No, he won't.
He did not cross the line when he crashed.
Deer Hunter to 10th. KP21 to 11th. Zach DeVries to 12th. Now to 13th. As Supply Raptor goes 12th. DXC should go with no front wing. He'll come across the line at 13th. What a race.
What happened? Zach,
I'm not sure.
Zach, who was running P6, just crashed. Kind of the same nature where we saw Vettel crash in 2014, but he saved it. But Checo crashed that year, and he did not save it. Sure, that will get looked at later.
Well, that was exciting. Arguably one of the best races of the season so far. It's round 11, and there's still 13 rounds to go. Boss Cookie Ren's driver of the day. He started in the bottom 5 of the top 10 after crashing out in qualifying 3. Well, now he wins the Hungarian Grand Prix and the first one for Mercedes this season. And, well, it's funny because Jared, he won the Monaco Grand Prix. He's just one step short at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Good showing from Alpine. It's their technically 4th podium. I believe, was it Ferrari Nut? I believe Ferrari Nut was the one that got a podium at Austria.
That was Jared.
Oh, it's Jared. Okay. So that's 2 podiums in the last 3 races, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, It has been quite the race indeed. Boskiki wins the Hungarian Grand Prix, the first one for him, and the first one for Mercedes in Season 7 of the Breakout Racing League, but Season 3 of the Realistic Championship. Jared grabs second in his third podium of the season. Scartrix will grab the last podium spot. Ron Swanson fourth. Crispy, Minico, Axe, Bailey, Mumu, Deer Hunter round out the top 10. KP21, Supply Raptor, DXT Ishigo, Zach the Beast crashing around the final corner. He gets classified in 14th. I Am Tweaking 15th. Phantom 16th. Luciano also crashed in the pit lane. Actually, he retired in the pit lane, but he'll be classified in the 17th position. We lost Ferrari Nut, Ed Toronja, and Taylor Clan from this Hungarian Grand Prix.
I mean, I don't think this is the top 10 we envisioned in this order. I mean, wow.
Not at all. We'll wait, I guess, for Scartrix. Never mind. Right, let me load in the showroom, and we'll get this interviews started. Scartrix will not be attending the podium interviews tonight, so congratulations to him and the McLaren team. They grabbed another podium, actually second race in a row 2 weeks ago. Taylor did it in the McLaren at Silverstone. But now we go to P2. Jared and Bois, take it away.
Well, Jared, talk about your race. You kind of had it maintained up front. What happened at the end?
My car isn't fast enough. I don't know. In the wet, I think I could have won that. I was hoping it was going to stay wet until the end. But, yeah. And then Jeff gave me the call to pick us off, so not much you can do.
Yeah, it's certainly like the first time around when everyone gambled and pitted for mediums. That certainly was not the time to do
No,
it.
yeah, that was still way too wet.
Well, they were losing time hands over fist.
Yeah.
And I agree. I mean, from our end, it looked like, the cloud cover never changed, even though the rain stopped. Was it just one of those things where all of a sudden the track just became dry enough at the end?
It sort of gradually, over 10 laps, dried out a bit, just bit by bit each lap, but I kind of hoped it would stay wet enough to the end that we didn't have to pit, but yeah, that wasn't the case, so wasn't much I can do.
Well, it's 2 podiums in the last 3 races, if my memory is right, and I believe your 3rd podium overall. Anything else you want to mention? I'm sorry, it's been a crazy race.
No.
Like literally every 5 minutes, everything changed.
I don't have much to say at the best of times.
I think if everyone had a overview of their race, yours was actually you were consistently up front, so maybe not yours, but it's going to look like the stock market. It's going to your bottom, up, down, up, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people crashed in front of me, so I didn't have to bother trying to overtake them. So yeah.
Well, you seem to not make many mistakes out there. Just at the end, just untimely with the weather. That sucks.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll see what happens at is it Spa's next, right?
Correct.
Okay.
No idea.
All right, we'll move to first position. Congratulations on your podium, Jared, the 3rd of the season. But now we go to the Mercedes man. New contract, new car, who dis? How'd it go?
Sorry. It went pretty shitty, actually. I think I got lucky with pitting it soft. Deer was telling me, Deer was screaming on the mediums oh my god, it's getting better, it's getting better. So I was like, you know what, I'll try it. And it worked out. I was on the freshest inters of the top 5 anyways, so I think regardless of what I did, it would have been at least a podium. But nah, I got kind of lucky with safety cars and everything. I was 50 seconds back after lap 10. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Pretty shitty race. So it wasn't actually that fun until the end, because I got wing. I pit like maybe 5 or 6 times, but yeah, when the weather's like that, it's kind of just a guessing game of when to pit, and I decided to put in a safety car, and I was surprised that like no one else followed me. I actually thought Jared pit, and that's why I pit, because Neymar's telling me to just follow what Jared does, but he didn't. But he turns out he didn't pit, so I was the only one to pit, and it worked out, I guess.
It definitely did work out indeed. Well, that new contract, well, shows up you. It's kind of been interesting, the stat line, ever since Spain, and especially in that Ferrari. You didn't have the best of success. You go switch teams automatically, you win the race. Could you do that again next week in Spa?
I mean, I didn't have the pace to win this week, so we'll see. I mean, Hungary's kind of a shit track for, the Merc, just because it's, I don't know, but yeah, Spa might be better. I'm hoping for at least a podium. I think if I didn't crash in quali, I could have gotten top 3 start or pole, but yeah, as long as I don't crash in quali and crash like 5 times I get in the race, it should be good for a podium. Preferably P2, because Zach has been making a lot of mistakes lately. No discredit to him, but yeah, I think if P1 or P2 behind Monaco and ahead of Deer would be good.
We'll see how that plays out a week from now at Spa. Congratulations on your podium and the first win for Mercedes and yourself this season at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Yeah, thank you.
But that will pretty much conclude it on track from myself, Heycatcher, and Bois for the booth here at the Realistic Grand Prix at the Hungaroring for round 11 of the Breakout Racing League Realistic Championship. And, well, don't go anywhere, because tomorrow we have the tier racing. The weekend begins, and it's time to get started again. Equal tiers. The break is over, and well, we're all getting ready to get back on that track. Tier 4 and Tier 3, they race Tier 3 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Tier 4 at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Hungaroring. But on Saturday, we have Tier 2 and Tier 1 take to the Hungarian Grand Prix with 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tier 2, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tier 1. And on Sunday, well, we don't have anything. Tune in. Actually, no, we do have something. Oh my god, I forgot. ACC's back! It's back for Season 4 of the ACC Championship, and it is at Misano for Tier 1. Take a look, because now there's 2 tiers. And tune in on Monday! Yes, we have a Monday race again! It's been a season, but it's back for Tier 2 of the ACC Season 4 at Misano, and we'll have some fun there as well. But for myself, Heycatcher, and I'm joined alongside by Bois once again for the final time. Well, tonight, at least. Hopefully not for the final time. Are you leaving on me?
Oh, I'm fired. Okay, awesome. Bye.
Ah, no!
No, I'm still here.
He's still here. And we'll be back a week from now for the Belgium Grand Prix.